All right, here we go. Here we go, y'all. What's going on, Sap Gardens family? Oh man, what's going on? I'm gonna turn my camera around, y'all. Hold on. Just want to, you know, come and chop it up with y'all today. I'm a little under the weather, getting over a little cold, y'all. Hold on, I wanna turn this so that way got a better view. Hey man, when you coming in, um, leave a comment in the chat. Let me know you in here. Oh man, I'm just getting over a cold, man. You know these seasons change. Got me a little hot toddy. And, I had to put a little something in there. I'm trying to knock it out for real, for real. Man, when you come in, leave a comment in the chat. Leave a comment in the chat. I just wanted to come to y'all today, man. Just to chop it up with y'all and go over some I don't want to say revelations, but just some wisdom and knowledge. You know what I mean? That I feel like could benefit y'all. I just want to run it past y'all. Get y'all input. So as y'all coming in, man, just drop a comment in the chat. Let me know you're in here. Hashtag Black to the Land in the chat if you're coming in. Hashtag Black to the Land in the chat. I got some videos coming out for y'all later this week too. Like I said, I've been under the weather, so I haven't been able to edit and you know what I mean. Because I'm gonna tell you something, man. When I get sick, I be down, and I still don't get me wrong. Excuse me. Don't get me wrong. I still be doing stuff. I still got to feed the animals. I still got to do my chores and stuff. But for the most part, I be down. I don't be feeling like doing nothing at all. Like the other night, um, like the first day I was sick. I was just feverish all day. You know, it wasn't COVID or nothing. It's just seasons changing. It's mainly like up in here. My sinus, I always get sinus and stuff. What's going on, G Mama Grows? Shalom, everybody. What's going on? I'm gonna um, I'm gonna go ahead and just get into it, y'all. So I titled this live "Start Small" or "Don't Be Afraid to Start Small," and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Because as I was talking to one of my cousins today, one of my close family members. And, we were just talking about stuff, business and stuff like that. And he was asking me, as far as business advice and stuff like that. God's construction, what's going on, fam? What's going on? Thank y'all for tuning in. I just want to chop it up with y'all. I got my little hot toddy with my gin in there. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to overcome this little, you know what I mean? But yeah, so I was talking to my cousin today, right? Yeah, we just got small little garden until we get our homestead. That's it. See, and look, that segue right into what we talking about. You know what I mean? I was talking to my cousin today, and he was talking about, he wanted to start a business. He wanted to know whether he should start an LLC or a nonprofit and all of this type of stuff. And so, of course, I got to ask questions and stuff like, okay, so what's your overall goal? What's your end goal? What's this? What's that? And like I was telling him, and I was really speaking for myself from experience. You know what I mean? Because like I was telling him, experience is the best teacher. But like I was telling him, I'm like, bro, listen, start small. You know what I mean? See, before that cold coming up, that mucus coming up. But like I was telling him, excuse me, y'all, if I'm grossing y'all out by spitting, my bad. But I'm trying to get it out. But anyways, I was telling him, I'm like, bro, before you even start a LLC or whatever, bro, um, start to learn the craft. You see what I'm saying? Start to learn the industry you're in. You see what I'm saying? Start producing. Start seeing what sells, what doesn't sells. How long it takes to produce this or that. You see what I'm saying? Like for instance, say if you want to sell produce, fresh produce, for example, right? If you want to sell fresh produce, okay, first off, what kind of produce do you want to sell? You see what I'm saying? Because okay, you can be general and say, okay, well, pretty much whatever I grow, I sell. But at the same time, how is that going to help out your clientele? because this the thing. Anybody in business know the loyal customers is what gets you through the hardest times. You see what I'm saying? The loyal customers, those consistent paying customers, those are the people who keep businesses afloat. And those people want predictability. So you can't be a generalist and just say, well, I'm just gonna sell anything that come out of the ground. No, I understand some stuff is gonna be seasonal, but what I'm saying is okay, what exactly do you want to sell? Do you want to sell watermelons and melons and all this? Do you want to sell cucumbers, tomatoes, corn, like what are you trying to sell? You see what I'm saying? And so, okay, now that we got that out the way, what you want to sell, now we know what your target audience is. You see what I'm saying? Okay, now that we got that out the way, right? How long does it take to grow each thing? How much space do you have to grow this? You see what I'm saying? What is the market price for these things? Because like I was telling him, like, okay, sometimes, right? So say for instance for farming, this is what I learned. Because when I was selling chickens, right? When I was selling chicken meat, and this is what I was telling him, I was just basically going off of my experience with selling chicken. And like I was saying, when I was selling chicken, right? Because I was going off of the Joel Salatin Pastured Poultry Profits book. You see what I'm saying? I was watching a video and they were particular on the size of sweet potato with market. Exactly. People are particular. But like I was telling him, I had to learn that when I was selling chicken, right? So I was looking at Joel Salatin, right? And I got the land, you see what I'm saying? And I got the space to do it and I had the means to do it. But as I was doing it, right? So okay, I did okay. So my first round of everything, right? That's what kind of let me know, okay, this is the prices I'm looking at, this the price point. Shalom, AOVO on the farm. Shalom. Like I was telling him, right? So I was gathering research as I was, taking chickens to the processor, getting them processed, and then selling them. So what I would do, right? I would buy the chickens as chicks. I would the corner house or red basically whatever was available. Because that's another thing. If you're not producing your own, right? If you're not hatching your own eggs, you got to buy chicks from another farm. And so, like I was telling him, I had to buy those, right? And then what I had to do, I had to keep them for 8 to 10 to 12 weeks until they were mature. But I had to feed them during that time, right? So feeding them, that costs money. I got to buy feed. So that's an expense right there. So buying them and then feeding them. Okay. Once they're grown, taking them to the processor, right? I got to pay the processor to butcher them. I got to pay the processor to package them up, right? That's 3 expenses already, plus gas. That's really 4 expenses. Gas. Okay. So once all that's settled and done, then I got to sell it, right? This is the time where you're thinking, okay, now it's time to get money. No, because guess what? When you're selling things like produce or poultry or meat, you might have customers, or the bulk of your customers might not even be in your local area. Because the bulk of my customers were in my hometown of Jacksonville, Florida at the time. I lived 2.5 hours away. So what I would do is I started shipping. Hi, bro. Might want to check audio. It's cutting on and off. Can y'all hear me? Let me know if y'all can hear me in the chat. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Can y'all hear me? Because I don't want to cut in and out. I want y'all to get this. Let me know in the chat if y'all can hear me. Matter of fact, I'll check it on my phone. Let me see. Excuse me. Let me see. Can y'all hear me? Let me know in the chat if y'all can hear me. Okay, I'm good. Okay, cool. All right. So, back to where I was at, right? So you would think, okay, now I got them packaged, butchered, now it's time to sell, right? So boom, the bulk of my customers were in another state or in another city, right? Another city and state, rather. So shipping, you see what I'm saying? So to ship, you got to buy special boxes that's insulated. You got to keep them cool, ice packs or frozen ice, ice packs, all that type of stuff. And then the shipping costs. You see what I'm saying? So that's 5 expenses before I even see a return. You see what I'm saying? And so, after doing that about 3 or 4 times, not even breaking even, but really like kind of in the hole a little bit, right? Because I mean, I would barely, sometimes I would break even, sometimes I wouldn't. Seeing that, I'm like, okay, this is not profitable. So what I had to do was I had to go back to the drawing board and say, okay, I gotta scratch this. I gotta scratch this. I gotta come up with a better way. I got to come up with a better way to do this. You see what I'm saying? If I want to sell poultry, because right now I don't even sell poultry. The only thing I'm doing right now, or not even right now, but what I plan to do in the future is if a specific family or families want me to raise, you know, 100 meat birds for them per year, I will do that on a subscription plan because that will be cheaper on me. You see what I'm saying? That would be cheaper on me to have somebody on a subscription plan rather than just trying to retail poultry because you got too many big businesses doing it. You got Tyson, you got Purdue. I mean, I don't know if I should be naming the names, but I'm just saying, I'm not, trying to compete against them. I'm just saying, you already got too many people in the industry, bigger brands that already have it on lock. And what I learned is if you're not doing it on a major scale, and depending on the state that you live in, because this is the thing, in Joel Salatin book, he talks about because I know him, for example, him and his family were the ones butchering, so that cut out the processing fee. I wasn't able to do that in Georgia because of the laws in Georgia. The laws in Georgia is that you have to take it to a USDA inspected facility to get your poultry butchered and packaged before you could sell retail. You see what I'm saying? Or you would have to get like inspected by the USDA. They would have to come out to your property and make sure you got all this and that, and all of these different requirements on your property if you wanted to butcher yourself. And even then, you were only able to butcher 1,000 birds per year. So I'm like, that don't really make sense to do because I'm limited. So all of it depends. So I'm saying all that to say this. I started in that business, I started in that venture, I started big, ambitious. Like I was telling my cousin, I'm like, in our minds, we can be ambitious. Hold on, let me go turn this light on real quick, y'all. Hold on. Sorry about that. I just want to turn that light on. Just let me know if that's blinding y'all. But anyways, like I was telling him, okay, in our mind, we can be ambitious and we can be too ambitious, right? So like I was, like I was saying, like I was looking at a tree right in front of me, right? And I'm like, in your mind, right? Your mind will tell you, man, I can go climb that tree right there. And you can see yourself in your mind doing it. Like you can see yourself in your mind climbing that tree that's in front of you, right? But then in real life, when you try to get up and go over there to climb that tree, by the time you even get to the tree, you sweating because it's so hot outside. Let alone you trying to climb it. And now you just contemplating life. Now you just like, hold on. I don't know what I was thinking. Let me go sit my tail down somewhere because I'm not climbing this tree. I'm out of weight. I mean, I'm overweight. I'm out of shape. It's not happening. You see what I'm saying? And that's what we do. You see what I'm saying? We get so ambitious in our mind, especially in business. We get so ambitious in our mind and we think so big and we try to start so big and to the point to where we have to end up shrinking back because we started so big. And I posted that on my Facebook today. I said it's better to start small and grow than to start big and shrink. Because when you have to start big and then shrink back and dial it back, that's demotivating, that's disheartening, it lowers your morale, it lowers your motivation, it makes you want to quit. You see what I'm saying? It makes you want to quit because it discourages you. Thank you, God's construction. It discourages you so much because you put your all into it. And what you didn't realize is that before you can get the big house, you gotta lay the first off, you gotta lay the foundation before you even lay the first brick. Matter of fact, you might have to clear the trees out. You might have to clear the land out before you can even lay the foundation. But you gotta lay the foundation first. And the foundation, I mean, you got to find the right spot to lay the foundation. And it takes a lot of time to build a foundation. But then even after you built the foundation, let's say you got the foundation built, you got all your research, your knowledge, you got a little experience, you got a little technical knowledge. You see what I'm saying? Okay, now it's time to lay the bricks, or it's time to frame and then lay the bricks. You got to do it one at a time, one plank at a time, one nail at a time, one brick at a time. Small steps. Small. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's better to start and say, you know what? I want to do this, right? Because my thing was, and look, this is the thing, right? Before we even moved on this land, right? Ever since I was 16, ever since I was about 15, 16 years old, I knew I wanted to do something in agriculture. Because I can remember at 15, 16 years old, my grandmother taking me to the feed store, and what I would do, because the first time I went in the feed store, I saw baby chicks, and I was like, they sell chicks in here? They sell ducks, they sell turkeys? Because I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? And so, because this was the first time I had ever been in the feed store. My grandma took me, I was 15. And so she's like, yeah, baby. And I started seeing the price. I'm like, 50 cents, a dollar. I'm like, oh man, hold on, I can buy this. And so, not that time, but the next time I went, I bought some. I bought like 5 baby chicks. I didn't even have a brooder or nothing set up. So what happened was my dad, he saw that in me, right? My dad saw that in me. So he helped me. Well, really, he did all the work. But we built a chicken brooder, pretty much. We called it a chicken coop, but it was a little brooder. It was off the ground, and we built it in the backyard, in my grandma's backyard. And that's why I would keep my chickens, turkeys, ducks, whatever little birds I would buy. And I would feed them. I would give them water every day. And I would do that. And some of them even a lot of them would die. Because, I didn't know what I was doing. I was keeping all of them together and, just letting them be out in the, you know what I mean? I didn't have no heat lamp in there, nothing. So a lot of them would die. But some of them would grow. You see what I'm saying? And I never really did nothing with them. Never ate them or nothing. I wanted to, but, I didn't really do it at that time. But it was just that I had that passion in me to kind of do that type of stuff. And so that had always kind of stuck with me. You feel what I'm saying? Even after I got in the military, even after I got in the army, I always kept it in my mind. Matter of fact, I'll tell you. So when I was in the army, right? Because there was a program where you can go to school while you're on active duty. And so I was stationed in Hawaii at the time. And so I was using this program called tuition assistance to go to school. And I was at that time getting my degree in environmental science, because the school that I was going to, it was an online university. The closest thing they had to any agriculture was environmental science. So I was doing that. That's what I was doing, because I wanted to go into farming. You see what I'm saying? But I eventually switched it over and went into biblical studies and theology. That's a whole nother topic in itself on why I did that. But it was led by the Most High. But, I had always had that in the back of my mind. And so fast forward to when me and my wife bought our first house in Virginia. We lived in a suburb, nice suburb, nice home, very nice, very nice home. We had a huge backyard and all of that. So we didn't have acres or nothing like that, but we just had a nice sized backyard. And so guess what? I started there. Guess what I did? I started a raised bed garden, a small raised bed garden. You see what I'm saying? Boom. Start growing spinach, lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, um, um, kale, whatever, potatoes. I started growing that stuff in a little small. I mean, me and my wife too. We were seed starting. We were doing seed starting trades, but we started small. And then I said, I want to get some chickens. Guess what? Built a chicken coop, went and bought some chickens. You see what I'm saying? We started out small in just a backyard, a neighborhood backyard. You see what I'm saying? And then that's why I was able to just, when we moved on our land, I was able to just, okay, chickens, boom, starting a garden, boom, let's go get some sheep, boom, let's go get some dogs, whatever the case may be. Because I had already started small, I had already did the research, but I was able to grow into it instead of, okay, first house, we own 10 acres. And I don't know a lick about farming. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. You see what I'm saying? If that's your situation, no, that's no problem. Do it. But I'm just saying it just worked out better for me to do it how I did it when I started off small. You see what I'm saying? And then I was able to grow into this because right now I don't even utilize an acre of my land. And I have almost 6 acres. Well, me and my wife, we have about almost 6 acres, but we don't even utilize an acre of it because we growing into it. Man, my dogs is barking. I wonder what they see back there. I don't know. They might be hungry. I gotta feed them once I'm done with this because Luna is pregnant. If y'all didn't know, I think I posted it on one of my videos, but things happen. But oh yeah, is that a deer or a dog? Oh, deers. Yeah, they see them deers. Two of them right here. That's in front of me. Oh, they better be lucky they small too, cause I go get that rifle. Put them put they butt in the freezer. But yeah. Anyways, oh yeah, and puppies will be for sale. Um, but anyways, like I was saying, I was able to, me and my wife, we were able to just kind of just easily transition when we did get on land because we started small. Because even when we were just doing stuff in our backyard, I didn't have a YouTube channel. I wasn't posting it on Facebook. I wasn't doing all that. I was learning. And I was more so learning by trial and error, by putting seeds in the ground, seeing what grows, how it grows, what type of soil it likes. If it don't like, okay, you know, chickens, you know what I mean? Dealing with predators, killing my chickens, because that was a problem I dealt with in Virginia. Now I will say here in Georgia, I haven't dealt with a lot of predators per se. The main predators that we have here where I live at in Georgia is stray dogs. Stray dogs. I don't deal with like raccoons and stuff out here. I mean, they out here, but I don't really deal with them because my dogs, you know what I mean? But stray dogs and stuff, that's really like one of the main predators out here. But I dealt with all that in the neighborhood. You see what I'm saying? Raccoons, possums, killing my chickens, man. I remember at one time, no lie, my wife will tell you this. We had over 30 chickens, right? We had over 30 chickens. Man, I promise you, we started seeing few and few. So like one day I go out there, it'd be like one or two missing. Okay, ain't a big deal. But then I come back out the next day, it's another two, three missing. Go out the next day, it's more missing. Then like a week and a half later, it's like we down to like 10. And I'm like, whoa, hold on. You know what I mean? And come to find out, it was one of our neighbors' dogs that kept getting loose every night. And how we caught it was my wife was out one day and she saw the dog coming over and attacking our chickens. And so, needless to say, I already talked about that story. It was they called, the county people or whatever, said we had too many chickens or whatever they reported us. But anyway, yeah, they snitched on us pretty much, even though they dog was the one that was killing our chickens. But anyways, we started small. We started small. And look, now my wife will tell you, I'm always talking. I'm like, man, I can't wait till I own 100 acres. I can't wait till I own 1,000 acres. I can't wait till I own a big ranch. But guess what though? I understand in my mind, I won't never be able to manage a huge ranch. I won't never be able to manage 100 acres if I can't manage 5. If I can't master 5.5, if I can't master that, what I'm gonna do with 50? What I'm gonna do with 100? How am I gonna manage that? You see what I'm saying? So if I can't manage, you know, what I got now, I probably got maybe 15 chickens. I got 4 turkeys. I got like 8 sheep, 2 dogs. Finna have more dogs. Finna have more sheep. And look, I keep increasing little by little every year because my flock keep growing little by little every year. My chickens keep growing little by little every year. You see what I'm saying? But if I can't manage this right here, how can I manage 1,000 head of sheep like Miss Abby at Goat Road Farms? She got 1,000 head of sheep and goats. See what I'm saying? She got other animals too, but we were only talking about the sheep and goats. How can I, excuse me, how can I operate a self-sufficient homestead or farm if I don't know how to butcher a chicken? If I'm scared to butcher a chicken, if I'm scared to butcher a sheep. You see what I'm saying? Okay. And this is the thing. People be like, well, you know, I cross that road when I get to it. No, start small. Foxtrot, Juliet, Bravo, what's going on, fam? God's management. I mean, God's construction, exactly. Management. You see what I'm saying? So I learned that because this the thing with my chicken venture. What did I have to do? I started big in my mind, and even out here because I just went head first. You know, after I read the book, did the research, I just went head first, and I'm like, boom, I thought I had it figured out pretty much. I had even done all the lead work. Okay, it's gonna cost me this much to get them processed. It's gonna cost me this much for feed. It's gonna cost me this much for gas. It's gonna cost me this much that whatever, right? So, needless to say, those numbers needed to be adjusted after I did it in real time. And then what I was learning too is that okay, I would take them to the processor, right? Boom, I tell the processor I want all my organ meats, I want all my chicken feed. When they give me my stuff back, what's missing? The organ meats and the chicken feed. And then I'm like, okay, I gave y'all 50 birds, but I only got 3 boxes of meat. This is light. This is a little light. So I feel like they was really kind of finessing me too. You know what I mean? And so that's just some of the stuff that you learn. And the thing is that it's like, okay, we'll go to another processor. But it's the thing, that was the only USDA approved processor that's within a 150-mile radius from me. I had to go all the way to South Carolina to do it. 3 hours one way. So it's like if I want to go to anybody else, that's at least another hour. I'm not doing that. So I'm like, you know what? Let me regroup. Let me backtrack and let me rethink this thing out. And the next thing I do, I'm gonna start small, and and I'm gonna tell you something. One thing that I'm seeing, the benefit in starting small and just adding gradually is my flock of sheep. I started with 3 sheep. I started with 1 male and 2 females. The second year, both of the females gave birth. I butchered the male, so then I had 4. Then the next year, right, which was this past year, I added more. I added 2 more females. And then I just added another male. So now what I have is 6 females and 1 male. You see what I'm saying? Because I had 2 of my sheep give birth. I had 1 give birth to twins, and I had 1 give birth to a single, right? So now I have 6 females. So next year, what will I have? I will have 6 females all giving birth, right? And so that would double my flock. But guess what? I started small. And so this is the thing. You know what I mean? You don't want okay, I say it like this. Hey, it was good to catch y'all live. Tell the wife and the babies hello, we're sliding out. All right, shalom family. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll definitely let them know. But I say it like this. What does Messiah say in the Bible? He says, humble yourself and you will be exalted, right? Because he gives a parable, right? You going to this feast, right? And when you go into this feast, You don't want to go and sit at the table, right? At the head of the table. You don't want to go sit at the head of the table because then what can happen? Because if that seat is not meant for you, then the person who's hosting the party, he's gonna come and he's gonna demote you. He might even give you the lowest of the lowest seats because you exalted yourself. Versus you being humble, right? And you go to this party and you get the lowest of the lowest seat because that way, when the host comes out, he's the one who will say, "Oh no, hey, come sit right here." He promotes you to what seat he wants you to be in. So that way, everything is a promotion, and not you're having to be demoted. You see what I'm saying? And that's how we have to look at it in life, because in our mind, especially in this country we live in, where it's money driven, the love of money, to the point to where we just become over ambitious. There's nothing wrong with ambition, but there is something wrong with being overly ambitious, because that'll lead to greed. And so, we want to humble ourselves first. We want to start small and say, okay, this is what I really want to do. I'm going to do all the lead work, all the groundwork. And before I even think about making a profit, I have to learn the trade. Because this is another thing. We start off in something already looking at the money and looking at the profit it's going to bring. And that was my problem. I was just looking at the profit. I started doing numbers. I started getting excited. No, don't do it for that. In totality, just that's the only thing you're looking at. No, I mean, yes, do your due diligence with that, but understand it's gonna be some times where you don't see a profit. It's gonna be some times where you just got to do it for the love of it. It's gonna be some times where you just doing it and you just putting one foot in front of the other, where you just laying brick by brick, and you don't even see, like, okay, you saw the end result in your mind when you first started, but now you're in the thick of things. Hold on, y'all. Somebody, my bad. Now you're in the thick of things, and the work is just so hard and the labor is so intensive, and now you don't even remember the picture of the end result, because you just been laying bricks constantly. You see what I'm saying? And so some days it's gonna be like that. It's gonna be very mundane, but you just got to keep laying the bricks. You just got to keep laying the bricks. Keep just every day, every day. You see what I'm saying? And then guess what? Over time, see, there's something called the compound effect. There's something called the compound effect. If you ever read that book, The Compound Effect, put it in the chat. Hashtag compound. If you read that book before, The Compound Effect, because this is why it's important to start small and to remain consistent versus to start big. Because this is the thing, right? I'm gonna tell you the difference between something that lasts and something that just fizzles away. You ever see those people who go viral? What's going on, Lots and Land Homestead? Shalom. You ever see those people who go viral, right? Or the real hot rapper got the number one song in the country, then next thing you know, they just disappear. They just fizzle out. Versus the person who been in the game 10, 15, 20 years, who started off just, local, small, and then they probably don't see they big break till they 15, 10 years in. But then guess what? They have a longer run. They have longevity. It's something called the compound effect. The compound effect is when every day you gradually, you continue, you master something. Every day you continuously do it. You get good at it. Then over time you become an expert. Then over time, you see what I'm saying? That starts to multiply. It's just like people say, they give this analogy in the book. Would you rather have a million dollars up front, or a penny day double every day for 30 days? For penny doubles every day for 30 days, it's over $1 million. Most people, they would take the $1 million. They'll say, oh, give me the million up front. But a penny day double, a penny that doubles every day, that compounds every day, is over $1 million. I forget. Hold on, I'll look it up for you. I forget what the exact amount is. I want to say it's like 3 million. Hold on, because I want to give y'all the accurate count. Hold on, y'all. It's $5.3 million. $5.3 million. A penny that doubles every day for 30 days will give you $5.3 million. But most people won't know that because they just hear million. They just hear million. Oh, you gonna give me a million up front? Oh, give me my man. I don't care about that penny. I don't care about that. That's all they hear. But what you don't realize is that when the compound effect takes place, then it's gonna be way more than that. It's gonna be way more than that. You see what I'm saying? So that's what happens when you start small and you grow. You get what you call the compound effect. That's why I've been on YouTube for a year and a half, 2 years now. I don't know the exact time frame. I know it's between a year and a half, 2 years. I can remember being excited when I got 50 subscribers. I can remember being excited, when I would get 10 views on the video. But guess what? Now 2 years later, where I've started small and I've been just, you know what I mean? Just learning how to, edit videos better or sharpen my craft with content. And I'm not where I want to be, but I'm saying I'm better than where I was. You see what I'm saying? And so now I'm starting to see a little bit of the compound. I just got monetized on YouTube this year. You know what I'm saying? I got great people like you guys on here that's tuning in and that's really supporting the platform. You see what I'm saying? So it's okay to start small. Even if you got one raised bed garden, guess what? You getting the skills on how and learning how to grow your own. I mean, that's so valuable. You don't realize it because if something was to go wrong today or tomorrow, you would know the first thing on how to survive. Now you would have to sharpen more skills, of course, but guess what? You're not gonna be blind like just the masses, because you got to think there's people right now who live in these big cities that don't realize that everything that they're consuming on a day-to-day basis for their survival is coming in by bus, I mean not by bus, but by truck, by train, by aircraft. All of it is coming in. Nothing is being produced in the city of New York. There's no farm in the city of New York that's producing these goods for these people to consume. Everything has to come in. So what happens when the railways are shut down? What happens when the roads are shut down? What happens when planes can't fly into New York? What will happen then? It's a concrete jungle. There's no space literally to grow food. And you got to think, people are living on top of each other in these big cities like New York. You see what I'm saying? That's scary. But then think about you. You see what I'm saying? The person who has started small, or they just got, just a little humble garden in their backyard. But guess what? You producing. You have food. I mean, you might not even be providing, all the food for your family, or not even half of it. But you know how to grow something. See what I'm saying? You know how to um let nature be nature, and trust the most high to give you the abundance. Because like I told my cousin, I said, man, one thing you can't rush is nature. You can mass produce everything else. And they even try to mass produce, produce and stuff like that. But we see what that leads to. But like real organic stuff, I mean, from the earth, you can't rush that. You see what I'm saying? You gotta have patience. And then it's the thing. Sometimes it might be a drought in the land. You might not get rain. Or you might have a hurricane that come through and just mess up your whole garden. You might have a rainy season to where it's just, or you might have an extended winter time to the point to where your growing season only this big. That's true. These skills are very valuable, which is why I'm teaching my kids the importance of self-sufficiency. Exactly. lots in land homestead. Exactly. We got to teach our children this stuff. That's why I bought my son a rifle, 22 rifle. You see what I'm saying? And you know, it ain't no toy or nothing like that he can brag and just come and play with anytime. No, but it's to teach him, hey, this is how you use this weapon. If you need to defend yourself, if you need to go out here and hunt and shoot something, these are the basic fundamentals of this weapon. He's about to turn 7 in a couple of days. And so what I'm gonna do, because now he's mature enough to really get out here and really learn about weapons and firing and firearms and stuff. So so I'm gonna go a little deeper into it with him because I want him to learn marksmanship. The same training the army gave me, I want to give him. So, you know, if he say, "Hey, Dad," like I mean, I ain't gonna lie, man. I be watching some people on YouTube, man. I be looking at some teenagers. They be like 13, 14. They be like, "Hey, Mom, Dad, I'm going in the woods. I'm go hunting," and they got a big old rifle, just walking 12, 13 years old, and they actually be bringing deer back, hogs back, whatever they hunt. They bring it back home. But that's because they were taught self-sufficiency. You see what I'm saying? So it's better to start small and compound and grow over time because the dividends will be more abundant and consistent. You see what I'm saying? But then also I wanted to say this too. I wanted to kind of segue into this. Don't be afraid to make mistakes as well. And I talked about this in a video I did. I'm gonna post it soon. But I was telling the story, right? With my son, my oldest son, DJ. And so, I be having them with me doing the chores and stuff, feeding the animals. And so I was just out feeding the animals one day and we were doing the chores and I gave him this cup with the feed in it for the chickens. And I said, "Here, hold this." And so as I'm handing it to him, it slips through his hands and he drop it. And he clumsy, right? He always clumsy. Always do clumsy things. And so I got mad. I always be getting irritated, like, and so as I'm about to start just fussing at him, the first thing he does is he drops to the ground and he just start picking the feed up and putting it in the bowl. And when he did that, he silenced me because I couldn't say nothing because he started correcting his own mistake. And then I started to feel bad a little bit because I'm like, man, it's okay for him to make a mistake. You don't got to fuss at him all the time. You don't gotta get on him every single time he make a mistake. It's okay for him to make a mistake because you make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. But it humbled me because I'm like, the first thing he did was start trying to fix it. And that's a sign of maturity and growth versus what he used to would just stand there and just like look lost. And I'm like, but I say all that to say is that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to drop something. It's okay to bump your head. It's okay to learn by trial and error. So when you're starting small, that's the time to make mistakes. Because this the thing. When you start big, you don't got no room for mistake because any little mistake is gonna cast you from where you was at. Cause when you start big or when like say for instance, you got this one hot song that you put it out and now you just all the way up here. You on Mount Everest right now. Everybody hollering your name. Everybody hollering your lyrics. Oh, he a munch. She a munch, this and that. Okay, munch this, munch that. Now you can't make a mistake because if you make a mistake, boom, you right back down to the bottom. You see what I'm saying? Because you didn't build up over time, but you got quick. You got shot up so quick. So now any little thing is gonna drop you down. Any little flaw people see in you, they're gonna take it to the heart and they're gonna start to take away their support. Mistakes happen. The power to correct them is beneficial. Exactly, G Mama. Exactly. So that's why it's important to start small because I was even thinking like, man, I don't want stuff overnight. I don't want stuff quick like that. Because think about it. We all hear them stories about people who win the lottery and they be broke within 5-10 years. I know somebody personally in my family who hit the lottery, got $1 million. You know what I mean? This person was young when they hit the lottery. Got $1 million, a little over a million. No, it wasn't a lottery. It was a settlement. I'm sorry. It was a settlement. This person got over $1 million. It's a famous case too. I ain't gonna tell y'all what it is, but it was a famous case. But this person just so happened to be my cousin. And I was young at the time, and it's like a fourth cousin, like somebody who I met a couple times, handful of times. But anyways, this person got over a million something dollars. Guess what? 10, 15, 20 years later, government assistance, food stamps, 10 kids, living, I mean, just you wouldn't even know that this person had ran across that type of money. And this person ran across that type of money back in the 90s where it could go a little further. Where that million back then was like kind of 5 million in today's times. You see what I'm saying? But I'm like, I don't want to hit no lottery. I don't want to just overnight, I got 60 million in my account. Because guess what? I don't know what it's like to be on a journey and just touch 1 million, let alone 60. Because guess what? The first thing gonna be on my mind is spending and not preserving. That's why it's important that you build and that you start small, because you're gonna appreciate what you did. You're gonna when you look at that house that you've been laying them bricks and you laid that foundation for, man, you're gonna say, man, I laid those bricks. I did that foundation. I put that frame together. I did electrical work in there. I did the plumbing in there. Blood, sweat, and tears I put into that. I laid the floor. I painted. You know what I mean? I did that. It's gonna make you appreciate it. It's gonna make you take care of it. It's gonna make you preserve it. You know what I mean? It's gonna make you like you're not gonna just let people disrespect that. You're not gonna treat that like it's common, because you understand what it was like when it wasn't even there. You know what I mean? So that's just with anything, y'all. When a lot of y'all on here that's on the path to self sufficiency, once you finally get to a point where you truly self sufficient, you're gonna appreciate that, and you gonna say, "Man, I remember when I first planted my first seed. I remember when I first got a harvest off of what I grew. I remember when I first butchered my first chicken. I remember when I first got my first goat. Like, I remember when I first built my first chicken." You're gonna remember all of that, and you're gonna appreciate that, and you gonna understand. You know what I mean? Like, this ain't easy. So people who try to glamorize it and make it seem like it's easy, you're gonna see right through it. You know what I mean? And you're gonna appreciate every meal that you partake in that's from your land. And your body gonna be thankful for it, because you don't gotta, because you're no longer putting all this fake stuff in it. But you putting real substance in your body. You see what I'm saying? You're gonna feel a sense of fulfillment. Everybody looking for happiness. Everybody looking for all these temporary emotions, but nobody is talking about fulfillment. See, all these little things people are doing that gives them a temporary high, a temporary happiness, whether it's fornicators, whether it's just being in the club, turning up, whatever it is. None of it is bringing them fulfillment. That's why they got to keep doing it all the time. Facts. It's like raising a baby. We're doing things one day at a time, gaining knowledge from the mistakes we've made and turning them into accomplishments. Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what it's, one day at a time, one foot in front of the other, one step at a time. But the people who are just chasing dopamine hits, that's really what it is. If you want to be real, they just chasing dopamine hits. You feel what I'm saying? That's what they chasing, and they gotta keep chasing that dopamine. So once they get that dopamine shot, then they right back down to the low. They're not even fulfilled. They don't even want to look in the mirror. They be ashamed of themselves. I know that feeling. I know that feeling. Man, I remember, man, I used to turn up. I used to turn up. Guess what? Man, I used to get so drunk some nights, man. Too drunk. I don't never want to get drunk like that no more. And guess what? You wake up in the morning, you feel shame. You don't feel no sort of fulfillment. You felt the dopamine the night before when you was doing it. You felt the good vibes and you know what they call the good vibes and all that type of stuff. But you wake up in the morning and you literally are ashamed of yourself because there's no fulfillment in it. But when you build something from the ground up, when you start something from the ground up one day at a time, and you achieve something, it don't even got to be like because they like to make it seem like achievements got to be like on the world stage. Nah, some people achievement is just to say, hey, I just want to live a healthy life and I just want to take care of my family and be out the way and not want for nothing. And guess what? They feel fulfillment every day. That's why you ever see old folks, they just sit out on the porch and they just watch cars go by and just wave. They got their coffee. They fulfilled. They fulfilled. That's what we should be seeking is fulfillment, not all these temporary emotions. And how do you get fulfillment? You get fulfillment by growing into things, by starting small, by understanding the mundane. You see what I'm saying? By understanding the mundane. Like I'm gonna tell you what's fulfilling for me. You know what's fulfilling for me? It's fulfilling to see that my children, they don't even know what a bill is. They don't know what it's like to be without lights. You know, see, I grew up, I had to worry about all that type of stuff as a child. Eviction notices, lights out. You see what I'm saying? You know, just all type of stuff. If you're gonna eat tonight, my kids ain't got to worry about none of that. That's fulfillment for me because I get to look at my son. I get to look at my son and my daughter, right? My kids, all of them. Like I was reading them a bedtime story last night, right? I ain't feel like doing it because I was sick, but I said, no, you know what? Because you don't get these moments back. I said, I'm gonna read one book. That's it. Man, I got enough. I read that book. Then here come my daughter bringing me another book. I read that book. Here she come bringing me another book. Okay, I said, all right, this is the last one for real. Man, she got about 3 books up out of me. You know what I mean? But I'm like, man, when I was their age, I didn't have my dad to read me no bedtime stories. But that's fulfillment to me because I'm like, they actually have that. They actually have that. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just saying all that to say, man, it's okay to build. It's okay. It's so they got this saying, man. We got this saying, like in the black community, we have a lot of these sayings. But they say slow motion is better than no motion. Or they'll say stuff like it's slow, but it's for sure. You know what I mean? It's slow, but it's for sure. It's gonna come in. Or it might be slow motion, but it's some. It's better than none. You know what I mean? So don't be scared to just start small, man. Don't be ashamed of it because in this world of social media where everybody got it all, don't nobody want for nothing on social media. Everybody got the big chains, everybody got the big houses, the Hellcats, the nice cars, all that. Hey man, don't be afraid to be that person and say, you know what, man, hey, I got a regular 9 to 5 and I'm just providing for my family. I got a reliable car or truck and I'm making ends meet. And I'm happy with that. I'm fulfilled with that. I have joy in that. Don't be scared to be that person. Cause I'm that person. Shoot. I got my head above water. What more could I ask for? I ain't drowning. You got some people ain't got freedom right now. You got some people ain't breathing right now. So don't be scared. Don't despise small beginnings. And don't try to always jump head first into the water. Sometimes you might just need to dip your toe in. And then you know how they got the steps where you go down in the pool. You got the steps. Walk down each step first. Test the temperature. I'm on live. You want to talk to the live? Want to talk on the video? All right, come on. I'm finna get off here anyways, y'all. Cause I gotta feed the dog. It's what? Well, it's a roach out here. Oh yeah, I see it. It's on the porch. I'm gonna kill it. Yeah. Go on now. Go on now. I'm talking. But yeah, y'all. You know, don't be scared to go down those steps. Test the temperature. Then when you know get in 3 feet, you know, sit in 3 feet for a little while. Then edge your way to 5. Then you can go into deep water. Cause once you could tread, you know what I mean. Once you know how to tread the water, then you can go in the deep end. Then you can go in the deep end.
Right.
Look, what you doing?
Well, you
Look,
said
it's right here. No, yeah. Say what's up. Say shalom, everybody.
Shalom, everybody.
Yeah. Tell them ain't nothing wrong with starting small.
We started small.
We starting small?
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, y'all, I appreciate y'all for chopping it up with me. I appreciate that. But I just want to let y'all know, man, ain't nothing to be ashamed of and starting small before you jump head first into the deep end. Because I know a lot of us, we had a tendency to want to do that.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah, that's it. Tell them again.
Try to like and subscribe to our channel.
That's it.
Set Park Gardens.
That's it. All right, y'all. But yeah, that's all I want to chop it up with y'all about.
Oh, and don't forget, go to Mom's channel.
She ain't got no channel.
What?
You watch too much Google Gaga. But all right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all go for the night. But like I always like to say, if you get somebody the power to feed you, you give them the power to starve you. Shalom.